Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucie, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News. A vaccination centre has opened in Newport Bay Club.
Disney Imagineering have revealed a free walking animatronic of Baby Groot. That wasn't supposed to be me.
No. Maintenance continues at Disneyland Paris with the repainting of the Planet Hollywood Dome.
Disneyland Paris now has its own TikTok channel. That was TikTok. If you follow the app, you can find it at Disneyland Paris.
Disney Cruise Line released details of requirements to sail. All passengers over 18 years must be fully vaccinated pre-departure tests and are required, and masks to be worn in common areas.
Sorry about that.
Well, you'd think we'd be better at it by now, wouldn't you? None of us nailed that.
We all messed up.
Can I do number 3, please? I said, and then jumped in with number 2.
My TikTok wasn't very clear, so I had to repeat it because I kind of said knick-knack.
Well, they've got knickknacks. How much would you like a Disneyland Paris flavoured knickknack? Like pineapple flavoured?
I'm happy with the scampi and lemon, to be honest with you.
Oh, any, but nice and spicy is the top one
Yes,
for
nice
me.
and spicy are good too. I agree.
Oh, mate.
Oh.
I can do 4 bags of them in a row.
These are the hot topics.
You once did and cut your mouth to shreds, didn't you?
No, that was I ate 20 packets of Space Raiders in an hour for a bet. It wasn't even like a proper bet. It was just like, a bet you couldn't. I was like, cost got easy, and I just did it for nothing. And the roof of my mouth was a disaster.
Do you remember meanies?
Young.
Meanies.
Yeah, they were like pickled onion Space Invaders, except they were 5p a bag instead of 10p a bag, and they were really small. And you could put they were like 2 of them looked like a leg, and then some of them looked like a head, and you could put the heads inside the legs and make little aliens out of them.
Vaguely.
They were.
They sound delicious.
Yes, they were awesome.
Right, let me tell you what we've got coming up on the show today. As ever, we will be discussing all the news topics you've just heard. And then a listener has alerted me to a change on the app and on the website that I maybe want to have a quick chat about. And then we've got 3 rounds of Would You Rather. That's always a good game for Slow News Week. And then we've got some trip updates from me and Hugh, and also the possibility of a group trip, but it's not where you think.
That sounded like trip up dates.
No, it did a bit, yeah.
It feels like trip updates these days.
The days we're going to fall over.
Oh, yeah.
A trip update is where you fall head over heels in love.
Oh.
Can we have one of those? That would be
that
lovely.
sounds fun.
It does, doesn't it? Do we have anyone joining us today, Huey?
Well,
anyone in the chat?
Andrew Palmer says hello. We've got some other people there, but they haven't made themselves known
Hello,
yet.
lurking.
And they don't have to. You can just watch. That's absolutely fine.
Well, hello, Andrew, and to everyone else lurking, I'm going to do this.
Maybe they don't say hello because they just, they'd like to comment, but they don't want to be drawn attention to.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, yeah.
Like in lieu of there been much going on in the chat at the moment. Can I say at the end of last week, I think it was Mark who said we forgot to reveal. Lucie held up some fabric with strawberries,
yes,
and to guess who it was, and we never actually said who it was. So I quickly typed in after the show, Lotso. It was Lotso.
Yeah.
It was a Lotso Disney-bound mask fabric she had there. In case you've been hanging on for a week and desperate to know, there's your answer. Lotso.
My camera's glitching again. Did you see it? I'm a glitch again.
Your camera.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for it. It's kind of cool.
I've got a video coming out about my Lotso Disney bound. I filmed it a couple of weeks ago, but I just, in the midst of other things that have happened, I haven't got around to finishing editing it just yet. But that's on its way. Keep your eye on the YouTube channel.
Ooh.
So, should we descend into News World, guys?
Into lack of news world.
Let's do it.
Well, no, it's not.
Look, I've just had a reminder on my phone that says reveal Lotso bound. Perfect timing.
Our phone's
2 seconds
brilliant.
later.
Bob on.
There's Mark Chester. Hello. Mark.
Hello, Mark.
There is
good to
real
see you.
news, Huey. There is real news. Don't mock my rather thin layer of news. Sometimes a thin layer of margarine can be just as delicious as a thick one.
Oh,
So,
no margarine
new
for me. Butter all the way.
Margarine doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
it's olive spread.
Or just like a spread.
Spread.
Butter-like spread.
Yeah. Plastic. That's what it is.
Well, my dance teacher says if the ants won't eat it, neither will I. And if you go on a picnic, the ants will eat the margarine. Anyway.
What kind of rules that? Comparing yourself to ants.
Ants have got taste,
Let me get back on a Disney track. So, Newport Bay has opened as a vaccination centre. It's only open on weekends by appointment only, and it aims to deliver 1,000 shots a day. So, if you live in France, in that area, and you are eligible and you book an appointment, you could go to the Newport Bay when the rest of us can't. The chances of you filling those criteria and listening to this show are very, very thin, but you never know.
Is Donald giving the jabs? I'd love that. Is it all going to be like characters doing the jabs?
Yeah.
Who would be the best? Who would be the best character to deliver the jabs?
Well, not Goofy. Doc McStuffins.
Doc McStuffins is a good shout.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any kind of mad scientist?
Well, you've got all the Meet the Robinsons guys.
People are queue up to get jabs from them.
They'd rather run a 5K. That's what they'd rather do.
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Is that his name?
Yeah.
And Beaker.
Facilier. He's not a doctor, but he's kind of a doctor.
Well, I would take drugs that Dr. Facilier gave me, but I'm not sure they would protect against any illnesses. Yes. But it's nice to know that there's proactive stuff going on in that area and it's been used for a reason. It just, I don't know, any sign of life at Disneyland Paris makes me smile at the moment.
Sign of life in the chat. Hello, Hannah Maria.
Hello.
Sorry, Marie. Hannah Marie.
Hello.
Hannah Maria. It's because we know Maria. Hannah Marie.
Um,
Mess that up.
Just call her Hannah.
We still love you, Hannah. We still love you. Disney Imagineering has revealed the free walking animatronic baby Groot. Have you seen this guy?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What?
You look unimpressed there, Hugh.
Two very different reactions.
It's fine. I mean, he's tethered by a wire that sort of feeds information to him. I don't mind that so much, really. But
it looks like the dancing baby. Is that what you're going to?
It's strange because
dancing baby gift?
There's been no attempt to sort of hide the fact that it's a robot. You know, like normally. I
thought it was a film prop when I just glanced past it in my.
You know, they say it's developed by Boston. What they call Boston Dynamic.
Right.
Boston Dynamics.
Maybe.
And it's like it's all about this robot. You know, well, you know, that seems surprising that they wouldn't just say, "Here's Groot, baby Groot." You know. Well,
they had a press junket last week or the week before. I think it's like, let's say 9 days ago, and they did two major. It was apparently quite a boring press junket, and then at the end they did two things. They had baby Groot walk on stage, and Josh D'Amaro opened a real lightsaber, glowing, a real one, but
not real.
They weren't allowed to share any photos or images of it. So a lot of the Disney blogs that I read the following day were all about these two things, but saying we weren't allowed to share images, and it was quite frustrating. So you say not real.
Andrew
came
says
out
it's
of a handle, it glowed, it retracted. No, what's the opposite of retract?
Extended,
thank you.
Protruded. It distended.
I think, is this that technology that's like it's basically two it's basically two half tubes, isn't it? And they go up together like that, and the light goes through the middle of it. I watched something about it the other day. It's very, very clever. Anyway, whatever.
Thing is, we don't really know.
It's like
Chris,
a tape measure.
They have said it's like a tape measure, but they don't really know, because this was the end of this press conference, and apparently he just did it all cocky, said this is real, and then the lights went down, and that was it. And they haven't explained the technology or said whether they're going to be available for sale, or they haven't said anything. So nobody really knows. But it was the same with Baby Groot until a couple of days ago.
Andrew says the Baby Groot is a prop from the Christmas show.
Oh,
they're doing the holiday special, aren't they?
There better be some kind of tribute to B. Arthur in there. Sort of made me happy.
We said this on the other show, I think, wasn't it? But if they're bringing out a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, get the Star Wars holiday special on Disney Plus. There's no excuse anymore. There's no hiding it. If you're referencing something, get it up there. And I think it's the 4th best Star Wars film of all time.
And I agree with you on this matter. I think he's absolutely right.
All right. Okay. I'm sure this discussion will lengthen out one day. Mark Hamill did an interesting tweet. He quote retweeted and he put, "I have a very bad feeling about this."
Yes. Hannah Marie says we can just call her Hannah.
I told you so.
I don't think I want to. I like Hannah Marie.
There we go. Sorry, Hannah Marie.
Anyway, when Baby Groot was live, apparently the impact was quite extraordinary and everyone loved it. But people have been a little more critical online because you can see the strings, can't you?
Well, I thought it looked pretty cool. I quite liked it.
I thought it looked
there aren't any strings per se. There's just one wire that is just like for information.
That was the metaphorical strings. You can see the strings.
Right.
Yes.
Right. We were just talking about earlier how people older than us don't get nuance and irony or sarcasm, and I didn't get that at all.
No.
Okay.
I'm 40 now, so I don't get anything anymore.
You're just seeing your slippers and throw things at the TV.
I'm wearing slippers now.
Oh, good man. Do you know what? Interesting story. I've had real problems with my ankles. It's not an interesting story at all. I've been in a lot of pain recently, and I realised 2 days ago that it's probably because I work from home and I'm barefoot or in socks all day. So I've started wearing trainers in the house, which is a big no-no in our house. And now my ankles feel better. It's amazing. Look at that. So there you go.
Needs a bit of arch support.
That's it.
So Disneyland Paris has its new TikTok channel. As we have all just discussed, we are either over 40 or nearing 40, and therefore we do not use TikTok.
I was specifically told it would be creepy for someone my age to go on there. Which is annoying because I have lots and lots of content I've built up over the years, which is just perfect and just the right length of time for TikTok, and I've been scared off it.
But it would be creepy if you were on it.
Yeah.
When did this happen to us? It all seems so recent.
It's
about
TikTok.
3 weeks ago.
I haven't posted anything, but I go on TikTok sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, because people put amazing stuff like Brickies put stuff where they do like how they put the bricks down and stuff, and foodies, they make food, and artists do artwork, and girls dance and stuff and things, and all that happens. Yes, but there's some actually really interesting, good stuff going on there. So, and the Disney things are some of that good stuff as well. Actually, some nice little insight into the parks and stuff. So, yeah, there you go.
So you can follow them on TikTok.
Would you recommend following them, Chris?
Yes, I would recommend following them. And they post quite regularly as well, which means that you're getting stuff up there quite a lot. So it's worth it.
They really make it, particularly in the absence of the parks being open, I've noticed them making a real play for new media of all kinds. A lot more, because they didn't used to put much on their own YouTube channel. It was very infrequent, but they've been using it a bit more. And then our final piece of news, the cruise line has released requirements to sail. All over 18s must be fully vaccinated. And they've said that's as defined by the NHS. That's how they've said it. And the NHS defined fully vaccinated as 7 days after your second dose of the vaccine.
So I had my second dose yesterday. Mark Chester's fully vaccinated, so me and Mark can go.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to drop it down under 45s.
If me and Mark have never met, just went on like a lads Disney cruise. lads.
Why not? Do it.
Get me some of that Tangled musical.
2 dudes on a cruise.
What you say, Mark? Yeah, just a couple of bros on a cruise, you know what I mean? With some mocktails. Just a couple of bros. He's gone quiet.
Loving your Broadway shows. But...
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, this coconut pudding's very light, isn't it, Mark?
Oh, you could go to brunch together.
Yeah.
Under 18s must have had a third-party PCR test between 5 days and 24 hours before arriving at the embarkation centre. That a PCR test is one that you have to pay for, that goes for proper laboratory.
Laboratory.
But Disney have negotiated with a third-party provider to get discounted tests, providing you are in certain areas. Presumably in the middle of the Highlands, there might not be a local test centre, but they have negotiated with a third-party provider. And then when you arrive at the embarkation centre, with your certificate to say that you have been fully vaccinated and that your child has had this test, you then all have to have a rapid flow test before, lateral flow test before you get on the cruise, on the actual boat. Once on board the boat, there will be regular health screenings, including questionnaires and temperature checks.
Will they sing to you while you're having them?
Different points around the trip. And masks are compulsory from 11-year-olds up in all common areas, except when eating and drinking in your own stateroom. That's it, I think. Eating and drinking and in your own stateroom. And then it said masks are recommended for ages 3 to 11, except for in designated areas. There's a lot of kids clubs and kids activities and kids arts and crafts and stuff on these boats. The kids will be in bubbles, and then all activities will take place in those bubbles, as opposed to a free-for-all. I presume you can only use your same 15 kids. So perhaps they might not have to wear masks then when it's said in recommended areas and activities. But it also didn't say compulsory. Now, I think they probably learned a lesson about people paying several £1,000s for something, turning up with a 3-year-old who then has a breakdown and a tantrum and won't put the mask on. You know what I mean? They're allowing a little bit of flexibility, because I know there's been issues like that on flights. People have got on a flight, they've paid the money, and they just can't get the child to wear the mask, particularly infants. So maybe that's why they're saying recommended rather than compulsory.
Mark's up for the dudes cruise.
Ah, cool.
Oh no, this is going to happen, isn't it? I'm going to be left at home getting tweets.
What's the likelihood of a family having all parents and guardians vaccinated and children being of an age where they don't need to be? It just seems quite unlikely at the moment that you get family. Well, there's still a while. It's still a while to go, isn't it, until that needs to be decided? But
there's been a lot of discontent, let's say, online, and I've not heard anybody say it's ridiculous, I disagree with this. Nobody said that. Everyone agrees it's probably a good idea and a sensible thing to do.
Are they doing discount tents already? Or discontent?
Oh, you were being funny.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
It's being hilarious.
Sorry.
Sometimes we just can't keep up with you here.
So yeah, nobody's been like against it, but there's a lot of people who are very, very disappointed because they've done the maths, they've realised they can't. And I think it's because one of the key demographics, before anyone gets on me, it's not the only demographic, but one of the key demographics is the family of children aged between 3 and 11. And generally those parents are aged between late 20s to early 40s. And that is the age that probably won't have the vaccine, or won't have 2 doses of the vaccine by this point. We were in the Disney store in Leeds today, and we were chatting to one of the cast members, and she was saying that her and her friends had had the wedding pushed back so many times, but they decided they were going to do the Disney cruise as the hen do for the wedding that they couldn't have. And they were all in the 20s and were really disappointed, because even if 1 or 2 of them can wangle it, they can't put together a hen do. So it's a shame. Like Hugh says, what are the chances?
Tell us what that guy on the Facebook said today.
Well, I was commenting on one of these threads, and like I say, most people were, oh, how disappointing, but that was it. And I said the irony is that clinically vulnerable people are going to end up being the only people able to go. And I thought that was ironic, because they will have had the jab. And this guy went, well, he started with, Lucie Rain, so what? I can't remember. There was another short sentence. It was like, why shouldn't they? Or something. And I was like, So what? Nothing. I was just pointing out the irony
Well,
of people who've been shielding for over a year.
She got to play the my husband.
My husband's clinically vulnerable, and he's been shielding for the best part of the year. But the irony now is
only this year, because I wasn't added to the shielding list until like February or something.
Tomatoes. This is stranger on the internet. I didn't need to go into specifics.
This is just for the listeners who think I've been shielding for a year, which I haven't.
But the irony is
probably should have been though.
Of the more vulnerable member of our friendship group, he's now the only one who could legitimately go on this cruise. And I do think that that's ironic, really. But then you don't know this. That guy got back to somebody else had commented, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting." And then he got back on a spiel about, I'm 60 and I've got diabetes and heart conditions. And if I want to go on a Disney cruise, I can go on a Disney cruise. Sometimes you're 100 and we had
a come with me and Mark. Just three bros.
And he had a bit of a rant about it. Like,
with mocktails, sugar-free for this guy.
So I've been learning from Hugh with muting conversations. I put underneath, I won't say his name, but I put underneath, so well, let's hope this Disney cruise chills you, lightens you up. And then muted the conversation.
That's good.
Booyah! Mic drop. Right. Sorry, I just shouted into a mic then. Anyway.
Mic pop, not mic drop.
I will tell you, Hugh's been telling me for weeks that because we cohabit, I should be eligible for the vaccine. Because he's vulnerable and I could bring things home and I work with children. And I was really kind of, I'll get it eventually. It didn't look like we were going to need it to go to Florida. So I was like, I'll just wait my turn. I'll get it eventually. I am going to ring the GP tomorrow. I don't want anybody to think I'm lying or pulling strings. I won't do that. I'm led to believe that as a family member, I should be eligible. So I'm going to ring up and see, because if it's going to stop me doing things, I'm going to start wanting it. So I might do that tomorrow.
Very good.
Is that all right? I feel like
I have no problem with that, Lucy.
You have no problem with that? Because I don't like people who break rules and huge.
I still, when I'm ill, if I'm ill, and we go to a park, and I have been ill when I went to Florida, and I just put up with it. But I'm well within my rights to go to the little town hall and say, is there anything you could do, and get a green pass and all this. But I would never do that if I wasn't in the midst of a flare, as it's called. I would never abuse that, even though I'm perfectly allowed to. So we're not a couple who abuse things like that. So I won't worry about it. I mean, this is like you know, this is doctor's orders.
Yeah,
I'm hearing this stuff. You know, like. Not my doctor per se, but you know, I'm hearing it on all the charities and websites and things that I follow that have said your partner and anyone that lives with you can get the vaccine.
Does it count me? I live with you.
Yeah, you do.
Yes. Anyone at 37
my
Disney
podcast
Street.
co-host. Yeah. Right, so that brings us on to the end of the news. Now, I just wanted to bring up one more kind of, I suppose that this would be classed as news at this point. But I got a message from Helen Macro, who is one of our listeners. Thanks for getting in touch, Helen. And she says, we've just booked a trip using our annual passes. Can you remind me how to book park passes? And I do love to help. Anyone who contacts me, I do love to have a chat with you. So I thought I will help her, but I can't quite remember. I'll go online, I'll find out. And it seems to have booking park passes seems to have disappeared. But also, I had provisionally booked 3 days in May, just in case Florida was cancelled. I thought we'll go to Disneyland Paris instead. Now it seems unlikely Paris will be open either. But I couldn't find my park passes on my annual pass page, and I can't find anywhere to book it. So it seems like, I don't think they've stopped with booking your places. When it reopens, it will still be limited capacity, but they're not taking any park pass reservations at the moment. We've not, obviously this is something to do with us not knowing when it'll be opening. Maybe when they've got a reopening date, we'll all be able to book. But I thought it was worth mentioning. And also, I've already replied to Helen, but I did want Helen to know I had properly looked and taken it seriously, Helen. I wasn't just bobbing you off. And if you can find anything, Helen, let us know as well. And then we can let the listeners know.
Very good.
There you go.
Oh, can I show you something?
Yes.
I kind of showed you it just before I started, but look, I'm wearing my Three Caballeros shirt today.
You've just decapitated yourself.
I know, I don't care.
It's worth it.
Head's not important.
Hang on, I'm trying to see it. I'll look on the phone. Oh,
fabulous.
Oh, that's nice. Where'd you get that from?
Three Caballeros. T-Public.
T-Public?
Yeah, I was just... it's the same place I got the one last week, the Tatooine one. From as well.
I love the Three Caballeros, and they've got a whole ride to themselves in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot.
It's the one reason I'm desperate to go to Walt Disney World is to go on that ride. And in all honesty, every video I've seen of that ride of late has involved at least one of them not being there. So.
It's a B ride. In fact, it's a C ride. But we both love it.
It's one of those rides where, and this happened the first time I went on Haunted Mansion in 2017. Well, other than when we went in 2002, but forget that because it was so long ago. I went on. I've said this before. I was expecting it to be like a proper scary like ghost ride, and I was like, oh, well, that was nothing really. And then I went on it again, and I appreciate it. Same with Three Caballeros. I went on it in Florida, and I was like, is that it?
It's called Grand Fiesta Tour.
Grand Fiesta Tour. I was like, is that it? But now that I know what it's like, I will probably really enjoy it because I will manage my expectations. You have to manage your expectations on that ride because it's just screens.
Well, no, it's not just screens. It's kind of a dumbed down small world.
Yeah. I mean, my expectations aren't that high for it anyway, and I don't know when, if ever, I will go to Walt Disney World. But the three things I want to do, we'll see. I think California's higher up our list than Walt Disney World, to be honest. But we shall see. But the three things I want to do are the Enchanted Tiki Room and Splash Mountain. The rest of it,
I think those are our three top rides as well, Chris.
There you go. That's what I want to do.
We concur.
Yeah. Those are all rides. Well, Tiki Room's much maligned. People say, "No, it's time to go."
No, I don't think that'll ever go.
If we don't get to California or Walt Disney World before,
they could. They could do there's a suggestion that they just keep it, but turn it into like a restaurant or a cafe or something. That'd be nice.
That's what it's supposed to be originally.
Meant to be originally.
Yeah.
Jinx. We're not allowed to talk now. Who's got to do it all?
No, I'm going to run the show. I'm going to talk about what I want. So I was watching Nickelodeon's Doug the other day. It's a different franchise. Now go on. It's fine. I'm going to turn this into I'm going to turn this into the Nickelodeon show.
I've got something DLP related actually to tell you.
Yeah.
Do you remember me getting all excited last time we went to Disneyland Paris and we came back with some bowls? These bowls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A set of 4 of these bowls. 2 of them are cracked now. Yeah, they've been dropped on the floor by our children, and so as much as they're still functional, they have a bit of a hollow cracking sound whenever you put them down. So we're a bit disappointed, and it doesn't help that the parks are shut, so there's nobody visiting who can go and get us another set of them at the moment. I just want you to know my plight.
Oh, Chris.
Been there. Bonnie has this. Can you reach it? That Mickey Mouse bowl.
Yeah.
There's a Mickey Mouse bowl, very nice. My sister got it for Christmas. And our floor, well, Chris, as you know, because we live in the same house on the same Disney Street.
It's really uncomfortable when you do that, Lucie.
Yeah, our floor eats things. And so she had this, I'm telling a story. It's got this Mickey Mouse. It's just cool. I just like it. And it's cool. Smashed on the floor. But the thing is, what I do, Chris, if ever I break something, and I've done it loads of times with tiki cups and all sorts, is... and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles early 90s egg cup. The minute it smashes on the floor, I immediately go onto eBay and if you can find it, reorder it. And then it's happened so quickly, you've almost forgotten about it. Same with this, same with the egg cup.
I had forgotten that was the second iteration of that.
Yeah, it got smashed.
Maybe I'll have to do that. I don't think these will be cheap because they're still available, aren't they, at the moment? So.
Right. Unless someone's done that thing where they bought them a load and selling them on eBay for stupid money.
Amounts, yeah.
Because I want a spike bumblebee zipper from Florida, and if it's not there when we go, I'm going to be gutted.
I don't think it will be because
they're like $100 now.
It's Flower and Garden thing. It's that. Sorry.
I want that spike zipper.
Is there anything going on in the chat before I go on to the quick? Would you rather?
Matt Riley saying, it says, I only travel by mega yacht. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but
is that for the cruise dudes on a cruise trip?
The dudes cruise. Andrew Pan was saying, thinking about hanging outside the vaccination centre at the end of the day to see if they've got any left over, which is, I've heard that's been successful for people, because obviously they don't want to get rid of it. Hannah Marie would rather do Disneyland California and the Walt Disney Family Museum. I forgot about the Family Museum.
Well, that just briefly, because it's relevant. That was our plan for my 40th, which is next year. In May next year, we're going to do Disney World last year, have kind of a year of Disneyland Paris, and do California in 2022. But because I am just so desperate to get back to Florida at this point, that I really can't think about California. And we're now thinking that we might substitute the California trip that I've literally been planning for 5 years. We might just go to Florida again and do it at another point in the future. But basically the idea was Disneyland California, see if we can have a tour of the studios. I'll talk about that in a second as well. Drive up the coastal road to San Francisco and go to the Walt Disney Family Museum and do a whole Disney road trip. Now, the other thing that stopped us is they don't allow children under 11 on the studios tour. Because it's a working studios, people are working, they just don't want kids who aren't going to stand and listen and appreciate it. So that's made me think maybe we'll leave it for my 45th.
That's frustrating when you've got a really well-mannered, well-behaved child.
Really attentive.
Oh, come on, guys.
The others have spoilt it, that's a problem. The others have spoilt it.
The Chester Clan have done a West Coast tour.
We're going to be tapping you up, but you can do a podcast and give tips for us if that's the case. That's what we want to do. I also think we might do it in a camper van and see if we can go to Yosemite as well. But I keep getting cold feet about driving a camper van in a foreign country. Anyway, this is way in the future. We haven't got out of our pandemic yet.
Apparently. Yeah.
So, would you rather?
Go on.
Are you ready for this, boys?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
These are for your own discussions and in the chat as well.
Play along at home.
Would you rather unlimited snack credits or unlimited fast passes?
At DLP?
At DLP. I know neither of them technically exist, but say that they did exist.
You can have as much
Nutella
shaped into whatever's the theme of the week. They
did used to have snack credits and they were called Pause Gourmand. Billet de Pause Gourmand. And it's like...
not the same ring, does it?
It means snack break, doesn't it? Gourmand is a little nibble and pause is obviously pause.
Right.
So, if the fast pass could get me to the front of the coffee queue, I'd be happy to pay for it.
But the snack credit can get you free coffee.
But you still, but then you still have to queue for the coffee, don't you? So that's the downside.
I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it? Because
the food's not good.
There's only so many snacks you can have. I mean, I love it. I love me a mango whip. We all know this, but I can only have 3, 4, 5 max in an hour, and then I'm going to be sick. So it's got to be rides, isn't it?
If this was limited to the studios and it counted the food festival booths as snacks, because they're all little tapas size things that you get at the food festival, I might be tempted to sort of do that and make a day of tasting
for a day,
and thinking.
So you'd spend a day in the studios just eating food? Is that what you'd do?
No.
so you wouldn't then, really, would you?
I'm trying to get an alternative.
It's a half-day park.
It's whatever you guys say. I like to argue against it, but all right, I'm with you. Yeah.
It can only be used at Vapiano's. How about
that? Napianos. Everyone's on the fast pass except Hannah Marie. Who's all about the snacks. I would agree with you in the States.
Yeah.
But the snacks don't excite me so much in Paris, unfortunately. But I do love a snack.
I do like Nutella, but just not that much. Yeah. I think that's the thing.
Okay. You can... This might be another obvious one, so I hope you can chat about it. You can only ride Pirates on a 3-day trip. Now, that's as far as rides that you queue and you sit in a vehicle for. You're allowed to do all the other attractions. You can only ride Pirates for a 3-day trip, or Pirates is shut for your 3-day trip.
Ooh.
Okay. So we can only ride solidly Pirates of the Caribbean for 3 days.
No, not solidly. You can go in. You can go on
walkthroughs.
All the walkthroughs.
Okay.
You can go and look at things. You can go to the shows.
Shop.
You can watch the parades. You can shop. You can do all that, but you can't ride Phantom Manor or Small World or the Storybook Cruise or Big Thunder Mountain.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's not that or everything else.
No.
We have been when it's been shut as well.
Yeah.
I
What are
think.
you saying, Chris?
Well, you'd be gutted if you got to DLP and Pirates was shut. But I think you'd be more gutted if you got to DLP and only Pirates was open.
You're like, what is this?
That's a very good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I would not, if this is the deal, I think I could have myself a happy 3 days riding Pirates, having a snack, riding Pirates, going for a wander around Adventure Isle, riding Pirates, going around the castle.
Be a bit mad though, wouldn't it?
But
You'd like, would you be driving yourself crazy just riding that ride 4 or 5 times a
Abash
day?
there again. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it just wouldn't work for you, would it? I can see, like, maybe if you're an annual pass holder and you're there all the time, if you happen to go for 3 days and that was what was there, then you just take it on the chin and you'd be all right about it. But when you book a holiday and it's once a year, or if you're lucky twice a year, yeah, I don't think I'd want that. I'd rather it was shut.
Mark Riley says, can I have unlimited snacks for 3 days on Pirates of the Caribbean?
oh, baby, talk to me. Yes. Right, next one. This is quite relevant at the moment. Cavalcades or parades?
So explain the difference.
Okay, so parades is what we used to have, which is it's once a day. It takes 20 minutes to go past. It's got 7 floats in it, dancers, everything going on. Your cavalcades are unscheduled and surprise, and they are single floats that just appear, or the omnibus with the characters on and all that kind of thing. Unscheduled times of the day, I think, is important as well. They were doing them at Disneyland Paris before the shut. It's so long ago now, I couldn't say for definite how many you'd get, but I know that from the Magic Kingdom in Florida, you maybe get up to 10 a day just appearing. What do you think?
Well, I don't really enjoy a parade because of the politics of elbowing, carving your space out and trying to maintain that. And if you move 1 inch, that face gets spilled. And if you move away from them, they keep moving into you. And I hate all that. I don't like the waiting before. I don't like the stress of like just carving out your space beforehand and all that. And I do enjoy the parade, but
you can avoid a parade.
We were stood in a great position up by the Small World, where you sort of look down to where the parade comes out. And we were there for 15, 20 minutes before the parade started or something. And then this family were coming up behind us as the parade had already started, and were tapping me on the shoulder and going like, get down, please, we can't see you. I just kind of went, no, we've been here for ages.
Hugh, you're telling everybody's story there.
Yeah.
Is there anybody at all in the chat? Is any of you that's not experienced that?
Well, you see, I feel like that about fireworks. I really do feel, and it's to really get a good spot, people invest 2 hours in that. You see them 2.5 hours before the fireworks, finding a spot on the hub. And there's no guarantee they'll keep that spot. They could do that, and then they'll still get a child on a parent's shoulders standing up. Now, parades, because of the way it's laid out, you can't, we've taken blankets in the bottom of the pushchair, put the blanket on the floor and sat on it 40 minutes before the parades come. And then you sit, you have a snack, you have a little chat, you've been at it all day, you rest your feet. And when we've come, we've had an amazing thing for the parade. And if you do that, I don't mind. And we've done that deliberately a couple of times and it's been fantastic. The thing is, if you do what everybody does, and we've done this more times than not, which is arrive 15 minutes before the parade and then look for a place and find a place, but then somebody shifts the weight and gets in your way, and that is really stressful. But I think parades are easier to enjoy than fireworks are. Having said that, that's not the question.
Here's the thing for me. I like the idea of cavalcades. However, because I like the idea that You could be just like walking through a certain bit, and suddenly there's a float there, and you see it, and you're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," and then it goes, and it's gone, and you carry on with what you were doing. I love that idea, but the idea that there could be 10 in a day takes away the spontaneity of it. Even though they're not scheduled times, it's still well, it's going to happen at some point. So if you hang around these places, you're going to see it. It doesn't feel as special to me. It'd be much better if they just did it randomly when they felt like it. Like they just went, let's just send one out now.
Yeah.
And not do it every day.
Well-
Do it some days, not other days, because then it feels special. And use like rare characters and stuff, and that make it more special.
Cavill State seems to be the consensus in the chat.
I think so.
I'm on that page as well.
I'm really quite excited to be surprised by Cavalcade next time we go. Having said that, I watched a video today of somebody watching the parade, and I remembered that feeling of having Bonnie sat on my knee and shouting the characters' names, and that's what we were doing for that hour. And I am a bit desperate for that as well.
Yeah.
Right, that brings us to the end of this week's Would You Rather.
Wow.
So the next
easy, that
thing on the schedule is a trip update. I don't really know if do we want to give this trip update now? Wait till another time?
Briefly mention it.
Briefly, we told you last week that our flights have been cancelled for our Florida trip. I can't remember exactly what I told you last week, but I believe that this time last week I was keen on trying to rebook it for the week after because those flights were still going. We weren't able to do that. The flights are still going. I've checked and they haven't been cancelled, so I do think they probably will go, which is devastating, but there is zero hotel availability. So we haven't been able to rebook it, but we have rebooked. The travelling partners are out. So we've rebooked for the three of us for later in the year.
August.
It's a good bad then. But
I could tell you where we're staying and what we're doing and things, but I think I'm really tapped out with it this week because I've had to change the flights, cancel the hotel, rebook the hotel, cancel all the dining, rebook the park passes, organise refunds.
Thing is, though, you can change your flights to whenever you want for the same price, though, with BA. So that's good.
That's all right, yeah.
Because if we'd have just got the flights from scratch, there'd have been a lot more, wouldn't they? But because they've cancelled it and we've had to move them, same price as we paid originally.
Yeah, the dates that we've moved them to are right in the school holidays, so they would have been £800 more than what the ones that we had.
Bonus.
Which was another reason why we weren't going to go at that time of year. We'd already looked at the flights. We thought we can't do that. But if we'd got a refund and then rebooked it, we'd have had to do that. But because we just change it, you just change the number on your reservation, so we haven't had to pay any more.
Yeah.
Which is another reason. That's the other thing I was chatting to that cast member in the Disney store about today. She'd been in the same situation. She says, I'm just cancelling and I'm not rebooking until I know what's going on. I find it too stressful. And this is another reason we just keep moving it. Because you actually financially, you're a little bit locked in if you can just keep shoving things on.
And every time, I know you're probably feeling a bit crap about it at the moment, especially with the Brooks dropping out and everything. But every time you book and you's disconnected, something just went really weird.
Everything.
Right.
Just type in the chat and we'll reconnection successful. We might be back on now. Let me just have a look on the thing. Something weird just happened. That one. Oh Christ. My computer's just gone a bit crazy.
Are we back?
I don't know. We look like we might be we've moved a bit. I'm trying to find
I'm going to do a test with a wave.
Yeah. Something really weird has just happened.
We appear to be
working.
back.
Can you hear us all right?
A bit sticky.
Mark Chester said it was going so well.
Yeah, it was going really well. Everything looks to be working fine here.
Yeah, I think it's working again now. It's a bit behind.
Some weird thing just came off my computer saying that the streaming software had disconnected. Then it said it had reconnected. Then you guys froze, and then you came back, and then it. Don't know. Sorry about that, everybody.
We appear to be back.
I cannot wait until we get past the 27th of May and all being well, everything's working, and we can be in the same place because the complications of doing all this using Zoom plus YouTube plus streaming software plus blah 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 blah. It's quite complex and it's causing issues, especially.
You do an amazing job, though. Me and Hugh just put up a green screen and
I mean, that's all I do as well, really. It's just yeah. I'm very new to all this, so we're still learning as we go, really. But sorry about that, everyone. We're back now, so
right.
Hannah's right. Let's blame the gremlins.
Where we got to was you said you were saying you
every time you book a new
the
trip.
Brooks have dropped out, but every time you book a new trip,
every time you book a new trip, you can start to get excited about that new trip. So like when we've moved our Disneyland Paris ones, we're starting to feel the dread and the stress of the fact that we know it's not going to happen. Then we move it and suddenly we're like, we're going on holiday. and we can start to feel good about it. So all I was going to say, Lucy, was when you're feeling up about it again, that's when we want to hear about it.
I think that's a good idea. I think next week I'll put it on that. I'm going to tell, because we're actually, the holiday we've booked is incredibly exciting. I'm now worried that won't go ahead. And if you are, I've done a video about this that'll be going up tomorrow. If you are the holiday planner for a family, you carry quite a heavy burden. And anyone who does this will know more than just, my holiday's not happening. There's a lot more that goes on that you have to do things with. And I'm feeling a bit heavy under that. But the holiday that we have, in fact, if anything, sorry, Kat and Brookie, the holiday we've rebooked now is in many ways better. Not because they're not coming.
No,
we wish they were coming. We just
the resort and things.
We've got a couple of really special resort stays coming up. Yeah. So I'll tell you about that next week when I might be feeling a bit more on it.
And like you were saying before, Chris, like every time, like the first time we were going to go to Port Orleans, weren't we? And then that got moved, and then we had to change that to
Riverside Orleans.
Yeah, and then we changed that to Captain Brookie. We're going to come. We're going to go to where we were going
Coronado Springs and Wilderness
Lodge, and now it's going to possibly be.
Well, we'll tell them next week.
Maybe next time.
Tell you next week.
Yeah. So every time you readjust, but then like you say, you get excited about. Oh, it's going to be this now. It's like I always say, Chris, is your dad always has an idea for a musical he's going to put on at the theatre, and every year he says, "I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put this on." And for a few months you think, "Oh, okay," but you know it's not. Because it turns out he can't get the rights and he ends up doing something else. And for a few years, I could remember each show that he said he was going to do
the show that we didn't do
for a few years. I've forgotten them all now, but
we haven't done cabaret.
A lot of the time it's cabaret. That's cabaret a lot of times.
but this is like that.
Right, and then there's one more tiny thing. I teased that we might have a group trip going. Well, in actual fact, they are debuting. The three of us, one of our most nostalgic favourite films from childhood is Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And they are making a stage musical out of it, and they are previewing it in Leeds in December.
Is it in Leeds?
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
So we're having...
With no excuse.
Yeah.
So we're going to book, aren't we, as a 37 Disney Street Christmas family trip.
Chris said
see Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Chris said, with or without kids? And I was like, to be fair, Bonnie would love it.
Yeah, I think the boys would love it as well.
And the boys would love it too.
Yeah.
So let's all go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's been in the pipeline for ages as this musical, and then I guess it's been delayed further because of that little vibe that's been going around. Apparently it's quite a big deal.
World ill health.
Yeah.
What theatre is that? Is it? Yeah.
Leeds
Grand.
Yeah.
Leeds
sorry.
Theatre.
Obviously, I've already said Leeds Grand.
Leeds Theatre.
As opposed to West Yorkshire Playhouse. Leeds Grand.
Yeah, or City Varieties.
Yes, yeah.
We need to sync our diaries, don't we? And find a suitable matinee.
Yeah, matinee, yeah.
Yay! So that's kind of exciting. We will no doubt do a review about that. In the meantime, I am desperate to get into a Disney park now, like desperate, like a hunger.
Hannah Marie says more time to Disney bound, but she was saying in the queue for Primark today that she's almost got too many on the go now.
I know, but I'm going to do videos about them all. I have started one Disney bound video and I got waylaid some other things, but I'm going to do a series of it and I'm rather excited. I tell you as well, not even having booked this Disney cruise, I'm not really sure we're going to go because of prices, let alone vaccines. I bought myself a red stripy dress so I could do nautical mini. I was that in the mood. I haven't booked the cruise, but I've got the Disney bound sorted.
Yeah. Priorities, Lucy.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, you're doing better than me with these videos at the moment, because I've been meaning to do another book review now for something like 4 weeks, and I've just been struggling for time. I've got one written. I know what I'm going to do. I just haven't had a chance to do it.
I'm so close to doing my shirts video. I'm so close.
Yeah.
I'm
the
excited.
shirt, yeah.
In fact, actually, there's time in the week on Friday where I'm on my own in the house till, is it 6?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Normally,
I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm working. I don't know what you do.
Maybe this week. It's just a shirts video of shirts I'll wear in the park. I've got that many, and they've all got a little story.
Right. I'm gonna unicorn you guys and say, keep your eye on the YouTube channel, because I do have a couple of videos that just need editing, and one will definitely be up tomorrow, the other one probably by the end of the week. We're going to be filming a trivia show after this, so keep your eyes out for that on Wednesday. It'll be round 8, and Chris has got some work to do to catch up to Hugh, so is he going to manage that?
I'm very tired today, Chris, so today could be your day.
No, don't say things like that, because you know that's not going to work in my favour.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you enjoy the podcast, you can leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else that you listen to podcasts. We do have a little Patreon channel, just if you want to help us out financially with our website hosting and little bits and bats that we have to pay out to do these things. And you know where we are on the social media as well. The social medias.
Just search for 37 Disney Street.
37 Disney Street.
It's easy.
So thank you all for joining us again this week. We hope to see you again next week. And I think we will give you a full trip update at the end of next week, as opposed to me going, I'm just sulking. I feel petulant. That's what I feel. I feel petulant that I'm not allowed to go to Disney. Okay. So thank you all for joining us. I've been Lucy. You've been great. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, pals.
I pressed the button, but it's not letting me go.
Just keep smiling.
Something's not working properly, so I'm just going to stop the stream really abruptly in a second, okay?